Hello and welcome to the allotment. So down here this morning to do a big job, a job that I've been putting off, a job that really needs to get done today, because if it doesn't get done today, I actually don't know what will happen to this area. So it's the mini polytunnel. If you haven't guessed already, I showed it in my last video. It is absolutely overgrown with weeds in there. I'm going to lift it up now and I'm going to get started on it. This polytunnel is going to be ready for something being planted in it by the time I leave here today. So, as you can see, it's absolutely thriving in here, but it's unfortunate that it's actually thriving with weeds, so I need to get them all up. So what I've got here is the tomatoes from last year, so they can just be pulled up, but I've got so many of these brown balls, and I mean, look at that, that's a dock, I think, isn't it? That's absolutely huge. And I've got grass, and I've got lots and lots and lots of it. So without further ado, I'm going to get weeding. So I'm going to get all of that up, and then I've got in the polytunnel, I've actually got 2 bags of manure there, farmyard manure. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to weed all of this, and then there was a lot of compost put on here last year where I had my tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to weed it and then put that manure straight on top, and then I can just plant, hopefully, into that my chilies and my peppers. I don't think I need to do anything more than that, hopefully, but we'll see once we get weeding how bad it actually is under here. I've now got a weed-free mini polytunnel. I've now also got 2 big piles, one up here and one here, of weeds I'm going to put straight into the compost. I think what I'm going to do, because it is quite dry in there, the soil's actually really good quality. It's actually probably good that something's been growing in there over the winter and protecting the soil. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a bit of a hoe, just in case there's anything there that I've missed. There's no bindweed or anything in there. There's nothing that I need to worry about sort of this being broken up and turning into more weeds, although more weeds are going to happen, as we know. That is the life of a gardener. And then I think I'm just going to pop the manure straight on top. But so far that only took me 15 minutes to weed that whole bed. It was quite hard work, but you know, I just think sometimes the thought of weeds is worse than what they actually are, because that whole bed was just weeded in that time. I'm now going to put manure down, and it'll be so much easier every time I come down here now. Just if you see a weed, you just pull it up. once you've done that hard bit, it is quite easy to keep on top of if you keep on top of it. That's the key, I think. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to water this bed. Seems a little bit mad because there's nothing actually in it, but it is quite dry, and as we all probably know or may not know, if a bed does completely dry out, it is quite hard to get that moisture back. So before it dries out completely, I'm going to water this and get it completely saturated, put the manure on top. There is quite a lot of compost from last year still on this bed, so I'm not too worried about the nutrients in it. Put the farmyard manure on top, and then that can be there for a couple of weeks before I plant my chilies in there, because I'm going to have my chilies and my sweet peppers in here this year. So I think this will give it a nice preparation, and it'll actually be ready. When I'm ready to plant them out, the bed will be ready, which is always a good thing. So it's all watered. It is a little bit uneven in here, so I've got 2 full bags of farmyard manure, and I've also got a small half a bag. So what I might do is just put in this corner here, and that will just even it off a little bit, and then the 2 full bags I'll just spread out evenly on top. And just like that, I have a mini polytunnel ready for my chilies and peppers in the next couple of weeks. I'm really, really pleased with that. It didn't actually take me as long as I thought it would. It was actually quite enjoyable and quite satisfying to see it go from a bit of a jungle to a nice area that I can now be planting in. Another job done. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.